Welcome back. So let's get into the papers, and it's an interesting mix from the front pages today. But of course, our guests will do justice to some of the biggest stories, and we have joining us virtually from Enugu, Dr. Andrew Igboke, who is the head of the Guild of Public Affairs Analysts in Enugu State. Dr. Igboke, good morning and welcome to the Morning Brief. Today you get your full doctoral compliments following that order by the federal government.
Thank you very much. Until the federal government has given us, conferred on us the validity.
Indeed. So I'm spoiled for choice this morning, but I'd really like to begin with the biggest story from yesterday. Court jails, and I'm looking into the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And the big story reads thus: 33 billion naira fraud, court jails, ex-power minister for 75 years. Maman sentenced in absentia. Judge orders Interpol, security agencies, to arrest him anywhere, of course, because he was absent in court on the last adjourned date and on the day of sentencing. And EFCC arrests Energy Commission DG over alleged 500 billion naira money laundering. Now, when you hear the sums involved in the allegations, 12 counts, by the way, and this, conviction and sentencing, what comes to your mind, Dr. Igboke?
Well, what comes to my mind is that people get daring, to commit more atrocities in terms of corruption, because in the past, a lot of people get away with it. Remember the director, is it deputy director, that said a snake swallowed money in his office? Also remember where a country where a director in the ministry is having access to loot over 20 billion naira, having access to 10 billion. So it just surprised me that a minister have access to 3 billion. And I would say, in quotes, mere 3 billion, because in this country, the amount we hear that that are stolen, even at the local government level, makes 3 billion to be called a mere 3 billion. The man will appeal, and I think before he does his own appeal, he may get it quashed at the end of the day, or he may go to prison, and at the end of the day, he may live in a comfortable part of the jail prison or whatever prison you think. Or at the end of the day, too, he may get presidential pardon, just like Mr. Lawal got presidential pardon, and he wants to contest for 2027 election. These are the kinds of things we see in Nigeria. Why does corruption keep on ballooning? It's because there are no consequences for corruption. Those in office are doing it. Those outside the office are doing it. In fact, it gets to a point in this country, we are already there, where when you try people like this former minister now, these people will start saying, oh, he's witch hunting, because some people are jealous of him. He's helping the masses with stolen money. I think our moral code is so perverse that corruption is now seen as the norm. And if you want to be straight or you want to be honest, you are seen as somebody who just landed from the moon. You are still like a queer fellow because you are trying to do the right things. And until we begin to really take corrections and try to improve our moral code, these issues will come out and play. But at the end of the day, you may just do plea bargain, or you may do all kinds of things that are elite consensus, certainly in these cases, and you may go scot-free by appeals and by maybe having some kind of plea bargain. Nigeria is a big hub for corruption. And we are not doing anything about it, both as government and both as citizens. And until we get serious about it, we continue to see so much of this. So whether you arrest this, sometimes these people don't do it alone. They do it in cahoots with people in the power. And at the end of the day, you just do sensational media headlines like this. And at the end of the day, you don't see anything. It fizzles out. And Nigerians are very good at our collective amnesia. Once and if government know this, and politicians and public officers know this, that Nigerians are quick to forget. So immediately this thing happens, after a while, it goes under the carpet, and we continue our life into a journey of, corruption petition.
Interesting. Let's go to the Vanguard newspaper. Let's get there. And that leads with politics. APC primaries. Petitions pouring as party clears Uzodinma, Fubara, Ali orders. Asks dangles on Adelabu. No governor disqualified. Alleged imposition threatens Oyo APC. Ayedativa bows to pressure to conduct direct primaries. Go ahead, sir.
Geoffrey, I knew that this would come, and this last-minute rush for a lot of people to go into APC will actually constitute serious challenges for the party, because the other people see themselves as we are the original owners of the party. They keep seeing the other people as usurpers. But unfortunately, the so-called usurpers are the people with the, with the weight, political weight, to turn things around. For example, a lot of governors are in this new bloc that came in and took over the party leadership, because the party at the national level said that once a governor cross carpets into the APC, automatically the governor becomes the leader of the party, which is a convention, I think, laid down by PDP those days. For the people who have been there, they keep more money. A lot of states, the older folks who were in the party have been thrown out, and then the new congresses brought in the new guys that came in. So naturally, we expect frictions. We expect cantankerous moves. We may expect betrayals. By the people who have been, dismembered and asked to leave or somehow. A lot of them have gone to the new political parties. Some of them are frolicking with the PDP, weekend-led PDP. Some of them are in the ADC. Some of them have gone to NDC. We'll see a lot of fireworks ahead, because also a lot of complaint about that they were not screened. Some were said that they didn't were allowed to buy forms. So a lot of complaints. I predicted some time ago that after candidates would have emerged, that is where we will know whether the APC is still standing strong or not. Because leading to the election, all the people who are aggrieved, some of them, a large number of them may remain in the party, because congresses have been concluded in many parties and the rest, and so they may not want to leave and become vagus in the political terrain. But they will stay, and in staying, they will be able to unsettle the APC from inside. That's what I see happening from July, and APC needs to know how to manage this very well. Look at what is happening in Rivers State. It's a clash of serious interest also. Many other states are like that too. Delta State is having its own fair share of its senator and some other people. So it's going to be an interesting firework, and if APC does not handle it well, they may be going the way of PDP. But I hope that they'll be able to handle it, because actually we don't need tensions in the political landscape.
Indeed, that is what the political landscape certainly does not need at this particular point in time. The country has enough on its plate where security is concerned. But what Vanguard is also reporting this morning is that in Rivers, Governor Fubara has been cleared. But we did hear the governor say that whatever happens, he remains in the APC yesterday. So yeah, perhaps is this confirmation that he has indeed been cleared. We hope to get more clarity from Rivers State as far as this is concerned. But let's head to New Telegraph now, which takes a detour from the other big political and court stories. This one is as borders on security. UN calls for independent probes into Nigeria, Chad airstrikes. It's a page 3 and 29. Pages 3 and 29 is where you find details. And there are two riders here. DHQ insists no civilian casualties in Zamfara bombings. That's the latest, but it also provided clarity earlier in the week about the airstrikes in Niger State, Shiroro local government to be precise, that there was no civilian casualties in that particular operation. There's another rider here. Terrorism. Lakrawa members killed 2 customs officers in Kebbi. That's ascribed to the customs boss. But Mr. Dr. Buke, do you have any alternative views different from the position that the DHQ continues to offer as far as these airstrikes are concerned? Remember, it's not just Zamfara, not just Niger. There's also that of Jili Market in Yobe State on the border with Borno.
Well, I think for the benefit of doubt, for the purpose of honesty, we must credit the DHQ, the Defense Headquarters, for agreeing, although sometimes they tend to deny, but they have also turned around in many occasions to admit that there was error. There were errors in their airstrikes, and especially the issues of friendly fires. But again, the question is not whether they admit it or not, or whether they came out to say what happened. The question remains, why are they still happening? So I wonder, the technologies exist for precision strikes. So why are we, is it that our planes are not, having the necessary equipment to be able to, or the necessary technology to have precision strikes? Or is it that we don't have drones that we can teleguide to have precision strikes? I thought that we had all these things budgeted for and purchased a long time ago. So the DHQ should not always having these issues of, in warfare, there are mistakes that can happen, friendly fire, but these are far in between and, very rare. But in our own case, we are keep on reporting it almost on, quarterly basis, sometimes, 6 or 12 times, 10 times in a year. I mean, this has to stop. Our military should deploy guided drones that can be, sent to do precision strikes. I mean, these technologies are abound. We have them already. So why are we killing our own citizens in the name of mistakes or friendly fires? I think this should not be allowed to happen. And I think the Chief of Defense Staff and the Minister for Defense and the Commander-in-Chief should critically look into this, because the excuses are becoming too much and beginning to look like if it is, on purpose. So let's get, if we don't have it, then let's go and get them. I mean, these things can be purchased easily through agreement, through.
Oh dear, it appears that we have lost connection through to Dr. Igboke. We hope the network would return, better and brighter this time around as we continue our reflections on the biggest stories on the front pages of the dailies. But indeed, we hope for more clarity from the Defense Headquarters as the UN now weighs in on these airstrikes. So it's no longer a mere, domestic or, if you like, national security concern. It's now a concern, also shared by the international community. And, we just wonder, if indeed some of the locals are saying that these airstrikes affect civilian casualty, we need more information where that is concerned. Families coming through to say that some of their loved ones have been affected in these airstrikes. Why do we have, people still conducting business or any form of activity around areas that have been declared terrorist zones, like, Yobe State? There should be more details, from these areas. But there are other stories on the front pages of the on the front page rather of New Telegraph, that compel reflection this morning where politics is concerned. Look at the bottom page: zoning constitutionally, morally acceptable, opposing it an anomaly. That's ascribed to a retired general Ikwomwem, and that's getting the attention of political pundits, especially with the entry into the race on the platform of the PDP of businessman and PDP chieftain, Mr. Hayatuddin, who was also appealed to the party, to prioritize competence, merit over zoning. So we see more, actors in the race on the part of the PDP. And it was interesting to also hear from the senator representing Edo North yesterday, who said, perhaps if you like, with some form of skepticism underneath, that the former vice president and traditional runner for the presidential race is now their own chief marketer as he begins to carpet, or if you like, criticize Mr. Peter Obi, who is clearly running on the platform of the NDC. So the race hots up even as it gets more interesting. I hope you're back, Dr. Igboke, to weighing also additionally to the story on zoning from the front page of New Telegraph. Okay, he's not back yet. Jeffrey.
Politics and the many shreds of it. As I always say that I'm just waiting for the 30th when all of this will be over. We're very clear on who is representing what party. I think the APC, for instance, there's a lineup of activities, House of Representatives, their primaries, I think it's on Friday, and then the Senate on Monday, the House of Assembly, governorship, the presidential should be the last one, which is going to be more of an endorsement of the president because the activities are already geared up. For other parties, well, it looks like the ADC, we don't know where they are going. Maybe they'll be going north. They may look like the only ones that may be going north, given articles of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's steady interest in running for office of Vice President. Some people have criticized him that irrespective of which zone the presidency is zoned to unofficially, because Nigeria, we don't have it in our constitution. At any time, anybody can contest from any time, anywhere. But Atiku has been contested, whether it's the turn of the South, the turn of the North. So people have said, can you just chill? But it's within his rights to do what he has to do. Politics is more than you see. It's more of what you do not see. I don't want to say more than that. But this Nigeria, Bukola, you're right, is the sentence of Maman is consecutively.
And not concurrently.
That's as good as a life sentence, because the man is already 68 or so, and if you add 75 years to his life, well, he's not been arrested. The judge has said his sentence will start the day he's arrested. So, as it is now, the sentence has not started running. There were about 12 or 13 count charge. The sentences have not started running. It's when they arrest him, of course, he has a right to appeal to the appellate court. He can get all the way to the Supreme Court. So he still has an opportunity within the law. It looks like he's hiding. We don't know, but at least he's not been declared wanted yet. The judge has said, find him. I think the only person that has been declared wanted is a former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Umar Sadiq. She's also been declared wanted by the EFCC. I saw that publication by the EFCC a few days ago. I hope I'm correct on that. This is the front page of This Nigeria. Hospitals operating with touchlights. Shameful, PDP tells O2 as Cross River kicks. So that's the story coming in from Cross River. The opposition party in the state taking on the ruling party as far as the issue of healthcare is concerned. And just by neighboring Akwa Ibom State, which was created from Cross River, we're going to be talking about what played out at the UNIO Teaching Hospital as well, and get a clearer picture of what would have done, whether who is wrong here, whether it's the EFCC or the medical practitioners, and find a middle ground. Because the problem now is that the doctors have also gone on strike. People were tear gassed, and I don't know why that should happen in such environment. But we'll try to invite the EFCC to come and explain what happened. They said they've released a statement, and that should surface well. We'll see how that plays out. But guys, we'll take a break, and when we come back after this break, we'll start off with politics before we get to the other issues. Remember, politics, environmental issue that I talked about, that has to do with you looking at your environment, and all of a sudden you see bubbling of gas. Somewhere in River State, the community just sees gas bubbles. They call it, I've forgotten the exact word now, but it's just
methane?
It's not a gas itself. I'm talking about what that concept is called in science. So you just see water bubbling, and then you see... But
it's as a result of gas leakage.
Yes.
That's what we should clarify.
There's even fire.
Yes.
There's even fire.
Sometimes we've seen fire in some of the videos coming through from that
somewhere
community.
in River State, in Degama local government. And so it's a packed show. And these are the things we like to talk about, you know, that affects the lives of people. Why is Nosdra not doing anything? Or have they done something, or they are not doing enough? But first, we'll talk politics, and we'll head to Osun State. Stay with us.